Hi, I'm Leanne. I'm a lightworker and a mother to 3 special girls. I strive to continue learning, growing, and to collect new skills. I'm a psychic medium, Reiki master teacher, and Akashic record reader and energy healer. I am so excited to share what I've learned and what I'm going to learn and the ups and downs of life. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Welcome to Life of a Lightworker podcast. Hello, welcome. This week's card pull is from the Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle deck. And as always, the intention is, what do you the listener, the person listening, what do you need to hear right now? And I had a card pop out. Let's see. Okay, so it is the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. This is the first card in the book, and it is in a group called confirmation cards. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open, to open through hurt and loss, to allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies, as much as triumphs and adventures. Wherever you find yourself at the moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open, no matter how much it hurts, to continuously unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you, not to you. And one day, in a not so distant future, you may be blessed with a thing that broke you down and cracked you open because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently, to treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby, to wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. The seas may not be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, not too far from today, you will look back at the transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. This card plays into something that's been really highlighted for me lately, and it's duality. It's not everything is going to be good, not everything is going to be bad, and it's all in the same field, it's all in the same plane, it's just the different spectrums. It's the different places on the spectrum. Like, our soul wants to experience emotion, so it will go and experience all of the emotions. It's not going to just experience the ones that we classify as good. It wants to experience all the emotions. It's because the universe, source, wants to experience all of the emotions. For example, love and peace are all in the same line, but the two extremes. So maybe not peace is the right word, but maybe working together so beautifully and so amazingly, and then war, as everyone's fighting and arguing and hurting each other. You have the two extremes that are on the same line. And there's so many different points and spots on that line. When we individually, and then as a society and as a universe, learn to meet it in the middle, find that balance point right in the middle, then that lesson is learned and the universe can move on. I feel like the whole lesson of this universe is to find that balance. We have the extremes and we are finding the balance. And that is, I feel like that's the purpose of this existence, is finding the balance. And it's obviously something that's tricky. It doesn't come easy. It's something that we need to really work on. And it's not going to be tomorrow that this gets learned. This is something that is going to take some time. But the way that I'm shown that this works, or has planned to work is that individually we find the balance within ourselves and it ripples out. The universe isn't going to find balance unless all the parts and all the pieces have balance first. So, it's just showing me like when someone has cancer, the cells need to heal and to need to work properly, need to find the proper flow and the proper way of before the person is healed. Before the person can move and function and work properly. So we have to work down at the very base level. And as far as the universe goes, we are the cells. We are a small part. We are the fraction that can ripple out. So by focusing on yourself, we can make great change. And how that really ties in with the card is when you are in a moment where you're being cracked open and it hurts, it's uncomfortable, it's painful. Instead of putting up the shields and protecting yourself, because when you protect yourself in those moments, you're also protecting yourself from everything on that line, all the good on that line too. It stops you from experiencing both ends and finding balance. It kind of keeps you almost in that hurt phase, but we're just bubble wrapping it. So maybe you don't feel it as strongly, but you're not healing it. You're not moving through it. You're stuck there. And the whole purpose of our existence is to experience and learn and integrate and find the balance. We are like barometers. We feel all the different areas, and then from our experience, we know what feels right. We know where the good part is and the part that fits for us, the one that feels good in our soul. But we have to experience it some way by either having it happen to us, watching it happen to somebody else, hearing about it happen to somebody else. There's lots of ways we can experience things. Like sometimes we can experience things in dreams, and that's an experience. That's something that we can still learn through that way. There's many different ways to experience, but we need to have these experiences in order to find out where the middle part for us is. And everyone's middle part is going to be different, but it's still going to be, when the whole group is taken into account, then you can find on there the middle point of all the people. And I feel like it's kind of like averages, but if everybody's too scattered and off to the edges, you can't find that middle ground. You can't find that sweet spot where everyone has found that peace within them. And I feel like that middle area is where the peace is. And when we keep, because here it is. So we keep our heart open because our heart is the guide, is the way to get to the middle. It's the compass, it's the barometer. And our heads, they keep us on the edges. They keep us on the sides because we're overthinking. We're thinking of what we should do and not how we feel. And it's that feeling, it's that guide from our soul that brings us to that middle point. And the longer, if you close off your heart, if you shut off your heart, if you're not listening to your heart, you are given more and more lessons to help you decide, to help you come to a conclusion of finding the middle. If you listen to your heart and let your heart guide you, you don't have to have as many experiences because you can find the middle sooner. So it's less tiresome, it's easier, it conserves energy, and in this reality time, when we follow our heart and let it guide us to that sweet spot that our soul is calling us to make, to be to feel into. And for me, when I feel into that place, it's peaceful. It's beautiful. It's not, I feel like there's some hesitation because a lot of people want to live in the super amazing side of the scale. But I feel like on that super amazing side of the scale, there has to be the balance. So some people have to be amazing. Some people have to be bad. Some people are, I don't like the words bad, but that's the side of the scale. If we have really amazing things happening, then there has to be balance on the other side. So if the majority of us are met in the middle, then the people don't have to suffer as much. They don't have to have those experiences because they're in the middle and everyone is more equal. And that's where the peace is. Our souls aren't being torn and worried because we have that strong duality. And yeah, I feel like it's like the goal for the universe, but it's not something that's going to happen right away, like I said before. Okay, and I'm being shown that that's like a really, really, really long-term goal. That's not something that's necessarily going to happen in our lifetime or so on and so forth. I feel like because our world has been in the negative side of it, the heavy side of it for so long, the pendulum swinging to the good side, and we're going to be living in the good side for quite a while, and then it's going to swing back to the middle. The goal is the middle, but we're going to do an uptick to the really good side. So a lot of us are experiencing the really good because our souls have had many lifetimes experiencing, quote unquote, the bad side. And now we're going to experience the utopia side, and then it will shift back. But they're just showing me that it's for us, as far as like Earth years, it is such a long time that it's in the spirit world, it's a blink of an eye, but here it's going to be a very long time. Okay, so I asked, how is keeping our heart open going to help us switch to the other side of the pendulum and then eventually move back? And this is like a society as a whole. And if we close off our heart, if we try to protect it, try to bubble wrap it, we stay in the down, in the negative, in the heavy. We are not able to move up. We have to stay there, and we may be a little bit more shielded, a little more protected, but we can't move, just like before. So us as a society are going to stay where if we keep our heart open, then we can slide on that line and move to the other side of the pendulum, the loving, the brighter, the more cohesive, and the more caring society that we all want to experience. The earth hasn't had that experience for an extremely long time, and it is that pendulum wants to swing, but if we keep our hearts closed, it won't be allowed to swing. So keeping them open, even through the pain, because we experience the pain and we keep our heart open, and then that pain is almost like propulsion to move forward to the other side. As long as the heart is open, it will push us to the other side. And so that's it's your shadow work. It's looking and acknowledging that pain within you, those scars, those wounds, and acknowledging them and not ignoring them. And it's okay if you don't know how to heal them. It's the acknowledgement that they're there opens your heart up. When you ignore them, when you pretend they don't exist, when you forget them, it puts that bubble wrap on. And it may feel like protection, but it's just keeping society where it is and doesn't allow it to grow and change and move to the other side of the pendulum. And it's real. I feel like the universe is calling us to swing because we need to experience the other side in order to find balance. And it's this really strong calling, this really strong pull. And each of us can do that part, can play their part by just allowing it to happen and not fighting it. Acknowledging that pain within you is going to be a key point. And let's see if there's anything else around. Finding like-minded people, or people who have the same, who understand you, understand that pain, understand that trauma, understand, can accept you. People that accept you, even with that open heart, with the wounds exposed. People that love you anyways. That's going to be really important. So put the intention out to find that soul family, those accepting people who are going to love you. And put that intention out into the world and allow the people already in your life that you maybe haven't shown that part of yourself. Allow yourself to show it, to see if they are part of that soul family or not. And continue to shine your heart open so that you attract your soul family, the people who will accept you for who you are. And you get more strength, and it's easier to keep your heart open and move through this as a group than by yourself. There's no need to do it alone. It's so much harder when we're separated. It's so much easier when we're together. And that's a really strong pull, is to find the people that accept you, even with your heart open. And so we want to let the people fall away that only wanted to be around you when your heart was closed. Because those aren't the true people meant for you. That's not a true fit. And remind yourself of that and set that intention that you're bringing in your soul family. That's going to really help that calling, that energetic call outward, to help bring them in to support you. I'm not getting any further messages at the moment, so I believe that card is done. So this week I announced a group, past life regression. It's going to be on June the 2nd. It's on Zoom. If you want to go check that out, my website is spruceenergyhealing.com. And the wording that I'm going to be using has a lot of visuals involved. So if you can close your eyes and recall a memory or see a tree, then this will work wonderful for you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. If you want to contact me, you can contact me through my website or my social medias. On Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, I'm Spruce Energy Healing. Enjoy your week. I will talk to you next time.